Alright, so like the title says, I did leave social media for a year. Actually, a year plus, so like 14 months if I wanted to be exact. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about my experience with social media before I left, what motivated me to actually leave social media, then, like my experience while I was off social media, and just some reflections. Was it a good result? Well, yeah, there were a lot of benefits, just to put that out there. Quick disclaimer though, because it worked for me, because I saw a lot of benefits from leaving social media, does not necessarily mean that it's going to be the same for you. Everyone has different experiences, everyone uses social media for different things, so I know not everyone can stay away social media for the amount of time that I did. Some people because of business and some other reasons, basically. So this doesn't mean that I'm better than anyone because I was able to abstain, but it does have a lot of benefits. And if you are asking why exactly am I in a body hog, well, I am because I am going to the pool. I'm going to swim. So if it's crowded, I probably wouldn't. I'll just come back home or go somewhere else. Well, nevertheless, I will see you guys very, very soon. So cue B-roll in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hello. So I know I said I'd come back that same day. Yeah, I did not come back that same day. This is like 3-5 days later. Who knows? I got busy with a lot of things, but we're back now. That's all that matters. My relationship with social media wasn't a toxic one. It wasn't addictive or abusive, but it was distracting. It was a very, very big distraction in my life. Like if I wanted to do something, I would always find myself like going back to like check, oh, did I get any text from anyone? All these kind of things. At the time, my most used social media app was Instagram, which was odd because I didn't have money. So how on earth was I able to always get data to, like go on the internet? I don't know that. But that was my most used app, and I was just consumed by it. I would spend a lot of hours out of my day on social media. Like I would have stuff to do, work to do, but I would just be distracted, so that was basically the relationship. It wasn't like it was addictive per se, because I've left social media prior to last year February, but it'd be like 1 week, 2 weeks, and all these kind of things. Like whenever I was having exams, I was able to like put my phone away, like just delete the social media and come back after my exams was done. So it wasn't addictive, but it was distracting for sure. And by the way, I'm in the kitchen because my grandma's around and she's in my room, so I can't film there, but I must film because the hustle must continue. I might even take you outside, who knows. All right, yeah, so we're outside. Well, I was, like I mentioned, I didn't have money. I was broke. Like nothing was in my account. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Even like to get internet was a daily struggle, but let's put this down. Yeah, so even to like get data was like a daily struggle, but I didn't have anything basically, and I wanted that to change. I wanted to get better financially, basically. Like, to be honest, that was my motivation, just being broke, just not having money, right? And I knew that my social media was a distraction to me. Now, a distraction from what? Did I have a business? No, I didn't have a business. I genuinely did not have any plan to get money. All I knew was if I could cut away this distraction, then I could most likely focus more and think of something, right? So that was my motivation basically. And I remember making an Instagram post and I captioned it like this. I think I left on a Sunday evening ish. I made an Instagram post. I'll probably put it up. It's not there any longer, so I'll bring it from the archives. It said, that was my caption basically, and I was genuinely determined, and I was like, I'm not coming back till I at least have something to my name, right? I wasn't thinking like, I was gonna have 1 million or anything, but I did want to leave the level I was and get better, be able to handle my own at least. So yeah, I left without having a proper plan, and I think that's so important, to be very honest. I think many people wait till they have every single thing figured out before they make their next move. I think that's where the problem lies. If we can do it scared, then I think we would move faster than we actually are meant to. But I hope you guys can hear the wind, because it's a lot. And to be fair, it wasn't a case of I'm not coming back till I reach the goal. That was at the back of my mind. But I also thought I'd reach the goal in like a month or two maximum. I've never stayed offline for that long. I thought I'd stay offline for maximum of 2 months, then I'd be back. You know what I mean? But obviously that wasn't the case. But yeah, that was my motivation to leave. Everyone needs that particular motivation. You need to get to a certain level in your life to like, nah, I'm not taking this any longer. Then try to do something about it, because truth is, you can be the better version of yourself right now. Like you can do it right now. Like all you have to do is make up your mind, right? Obviously it's not going to happen instantly, but the process can start instantly. So after the first month, there was no progress. I didn't get better at what it is I wanted to do. I didn't have more money. I still didn't have a structure, basically. So like a month and a half, my friends started to realize that I wasn't online, right? They weren't seeing my status, they weren't seeing my Instagram stories, they weren't seeing anything. So they started to call, because I went MIA. I deleted all the apps, I deleted everything, and I was off, right? So they noticed that I wasn't online and started to call and everything and asked like, Tiga, why are you offline and everything? And I was like, I want to get better financially, basically. I'm broke, I'm in trenches. Now, the reason I say this was because the goal started to change, right? It no longer was financial development alone. It was other things as well. So as time went on, maybe in like the third month or in the second month, when people would ask me, I'd say financial development, spiritual development, and personal development. All right, so financial development, I mean, that's clear. I just wanted to, like I mentioned earlier, be able to handle my own, be able to do things I wanted to do, be able to go out without necessarily stressing my parents and all these kind of things. Then for spiritual development, I just wanted to get closer to God, because like I mentioned, social media was a distraction. So instead of like reading my Bible at the time I meant to read it, or doing praying, all these things, I'd be on my phone, right? So that then started to be the goal, because I realized that I'm not on social media. Wait, I can actually use this time and period to get closer to God, right? So it became spiritual development as well. Then for personal development, I wanted to have a routine. Now, obviously, if you were like me, you get distracted easily by social media, or even worse, you're addicted, then you know that your sleeping schedule is a hot mess. A hot mess. By the way, I want to know the number of people that are in this hot mess. Like your sleeping schedule is, if it's not good, put what emoji should I use? Put a rabbit emoji. I think they have those. If they don't have a rabbit emoji, then just put any animal or something. Yeah, so everyone knows that we're all in this together. My sleep schedule was terrible. I wanted to have proper schedule. I wanted to be able to wake up early. I wanted to exercise. I wanted to just have my priorities set right, you know what I mean? So that was my personal development. So it was those three goals. So now I went from not having a structure, from not having a proper plan, to having a semi-plan. Like, even though I don't know exactly where I'm going, I have a direction. I have like a map, right? I know that I want to get better financially, spiritually, and personally. So I already have an idea on which route I want to take, and I think that's extremely important. So you see that the thing started to form even by itself, right? So on the financial bit, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really focused on that because I didn't have any plan, right? Don't get me wrong, I was thinking of that constantly, but I didn't have a structure, I didn't have a proper plan, so it was just there. Okay, so for spiritual development, I wanted to like read the scriptures more, I wanted to pray more. I also wanted to like watch a lot of messages, like frequently, on YouTube and all these kind of things. So that was like a very actionable plan. So with time, I started to inculcate that into my schedule, because truth is I had more time on my hands. Now don't get me wrong, it didn't just work like straight away. It was something that I did progressively. In personal development, I started to wake up early. Now, it wasn't every time that this happened, right? It wasn't that, as soon as I went offline, I started to do that. With time, it started, just like the spiritual, it started to get better. But there were some weeks that I wouldn't wake up early at all. There were some weeks that I would wake up early like every single day, so it was like that. It was a bit inconsistent, but to be very honest, that's how it could be sometimes. Like all these things, you could do it if you're on social media. It's just that I needed to develop, that's personal, I needed to develop that habit. Like, oh, okay, it's possible for me to do this. Then I just have to be consistent doing this, even when I come back to social media, if that makes sense. So it's not like I plan to stay offline forever. Nevertheless, that was that basically. These 3 things were things that I was focused on. And the reason why it elongated, that's my stay. Remember, I wanted to stay for just 2 months. But the reason it elongated was because, like I mentioned, I was not consistent with any of these 3 things. For the financial, that was the one that I was even lacking the most, because there was nothing that I could do at that particular time. All I could do was read financial books, learn about different businesses to start if I could. The ones that needed money, I wasn't going to do it because I didn't have any money. The ones that didn't need money just seemed difficult, and all these kind of things. I don't know. These thoughts were the kind of things that were going through my head at the particular time. Then after like 4 months, I started to feel the effects of not being online. My friends would call and just like check up and like, bro, how's everything doing? And I would just start to miss going back online. Sometimes I would just almost, want to install the app back, but I would hold myself and be like you're not done. You're not done what you set out to do, so you can't come back basically. Then in that 4th month, like I said, I was offline. So like 2 of my friends came to my house and just asking how everything was, and I remember them telling me that it was a bit dangerous to handle or go on this journey by myself, or away from everybody, everything. Like, you're not in contact with, because I was in the school, so you're not in contact with anyone except family members, of course. So at least having an accountability partner would be helpful. It would probably make the journey smoother and faster, so to speak. So I did that. I went on Telegram and I had like 2 or 3 people I was talking to at the time, just to like be accountable and to talk about things if I needed to talk about things. Because truth about it is, if you want to go MIA, like, you would need someone to hold you accountable, right? I remember one of my friends, I would, like, if I wake up early, I would tell, like, send it to, like, yo, I woke up early, and I would just go, like, she doesn't have to reply, but like, just knowing that I have to be accountable to someone helped in a very, very, very great way. Obviously I stopped with time, but that was so helpful. Then after like 5 or 6 months of being online was when the financial bit started to kick in like crazy. I have a video where I explain all of this. That's the financial aspect. I will link it up here, I think. Yeah, I would link it up there. But basically, I started a tutorial company and started earning like quadruple what I was earning before. I wasn't earning anything before, so I started earning basically. And at that point, I was able to hold my own. Right? I remember at that time, like, I was ready to come back online because the main goal at the start, which was financial development, I had already attained. Now, I hadn't gotten financial freedom, but I had a source of income, and that was the goal, right? So I'd already gotten that, so I was ready to come back online. And I remember not coming back after thinking, because the remaining 2, spiritual development and personal development, were still lacking, right? I hadn't gone to the level of spirituality that I wanted to get to. Like, that journey never actually ends, but I mean, there was a certain level that I wanted to get to. I hadn't gotten there. Then for personal development, sometimes I was still waking up late because I was inconsistent, so I needed to work on that. Basically, I wasn't exercising as much, so I basically needed to work on this still. So I wasn't done, even if I had the financial bit sorted out. Alright, hello guys, change of location. So how exactly was my emotion during all of this? Like, what was going on in my mind? To be very honest, sometimes it was a bit lonely and tiring. Like, I missed a lot of people. Like, missed talking to a lot of people. And I just couldn't, because I was fixated on a goal. And even on my 18th birthday, it was in January. Prior to that, like 2 years ago or last year, I was like, no, my 18th birthday, I'm finna turn up. You get what I mean? But I was still, unfortunately, on my break. I didn't go online. Some people called me, don't get me wrong, but I didn't celebrate, because I didn't want anything to stop me from that. At that point, I was considering, like, maybe going online just to celebrate my birthday, like get wishes and all that nonsense, or maybe go out even, then after that day I'd come back online. But in my head, the effect wouldn't be as much, like what I was actually doing. So I didn't bother with that. So it just goes to show like how far someone can go to get to the level that they want to get to, right? But don't get me wrong, some other times it was really, really great. Like, I think the good outweighed the bad. I think for me, that's on the mental health aspect, because like I mentioned, I was talking to like 2 or 3 people, like constantly talking to like 2 or 3 people, and whenever I had a problem, I'd like text them, or all these kind of things. So it wasn't so bad. But staying away from everyone and everything was just great, to be very honest, because you have so much time for everything. You are at peace. Like, do you know what peace means? Like, you're at peace. There were so many things that was going on in the world that I did not know about, genuinely. But I think in the mental health aspect, it was more positives than it was negatives, if I'm to be honest. So in total, I spent 14 months off social media. I'm not sure exactly the date. I think it was from February to April or May, something like that. I'll put the exact date up on the screen. To be honest, like, I didn't intend to do this. Like, if you told me when I was going on the break that you'd stay off for 14 months, I would never have believed you. But I wasn't going to come back till I had at least been satisfied. Like, I just needed that particular satisfaction. When it came to finances, there wasn't a particular figure I wanted to get to. You just know when you're satisfied, basically. Now, not satisfied in the sense that it's so much, or that's a lot, but satisfied in the sense that, oh, okay, at least you can handle your own, or satisfied that you've done good work, right? Even if you haven't reached totally the level that you want to get to. Because if you ask me, I wanted to be a millionaire before I came back online, like a millionaire in Naira, but I didn't have that, So I was satisfied, basically, having what I had. And for the personal development bit, I wasn't as consistent as I would have loved to be. But the truth is, where I was compared to what I started was massive. Like, the difference was clear. And spiritual, like, let's not get into that. Like I mentioned, the spiritual bit is always a constant. There's always something that you need to do better at. There's always a growth level that you need to attain. It's never done with. But I was proud, basically, of where God had brought me to on that front. So basically, I was satisfied. That's why it took 14 months, because it just kept on going. Like, okay, I'm coming back in like 3 months. Nah, 2 months, 5 months. Then everything just lined to 14 months. And I remember the day that I came back online, I posted on Instagram with the caption, "Finally caught those blessings I was chasing." Remember at the start of the video, earlier in the video, I said that I posted on Instagram when I was leaving, trying to lace my shoes for all the blessings I was chasing. Then this one was like, finally caught those blessings I was chasing. And obviously I was the only one that understood that, because I was the only one that remembered the caption from like over a year ago. But the experience in total was amazing, to be very honest. Like, it's something that I should do again, right? Something that I should try and do. Maybe not 14 months, but at least for a couple months. The peace of mind. There's so much you can achieve, basically. Right now I'm working on a company. The link will be in the description. It's DTA Tutorials, my tutorial company. It wouldn't have launched by the time this video is coming out, I'm sure, but you could just follow that on Instagram, support the hustle. Nevertheless, I'm working on that. So even staying away from social media for like a month or 2 would just make that process a lot faster. So it might be something that I do. I think everyone should do this, to be honest. Yeah, I know some people have their businesses online, but for like a week even, or a couple of days, like, just put your phone down. Like, you don't have to delete the social media. You could turn off the notifications. But a couple days, a week, a month, who knows? Like, it would be so great. I have a friend that's currently doing that right now, and the pieces is you would see pieces, like, inevitable. Social media has its benefits, don't get me wrong, but at the same time it can be so toxic. It's crazy. But that's basically that for this video. I'm sorry I took you around my house. Okay, now the wind is taking my phone away. That'll be all for today. If you guys have any questions, you can leave a comment. Okay, please leave a like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I think right now I'm on 149 subscribers. I was on 150, but someone unsubscribed, which is odd. But subscribe, get me to 150 and get me beyond to like 10,000. by the end of this year. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Ciao. It's good, it's good, it's good. It's good. This talk will soon bring me money. If I do 99 good, it go remain one. Don't know how to show you my love without looking up.